13 News at 5 begins with breaking news. Two big interstate closures are happening right now.
Right in the evening rush here at 5 o'clock. So what we're looking at here is a live look. This is a crash on I-69 southbound. This is at 106th Street in Hamilton County in the Fishers area. Right now we know at least one person is trapped in this incident and there is a person injured that could be the same person. The other crash that we're monitoring this hour is down on the south side. Here's a look right now what's happening on I-65. This is southbound lanes in Johnson County.
And a live look at the current situation. As you can see, the interstate is completely shut down there, and the crash involves at least two semi-trucks. So we're going to continue to monitor these. As you see, the interstate is not moving right here. So we'll stay on top of it. It's 5 p.m. on a Tuesday evening, so we know rush hour is certainly at this time, and we'll continue to monitor this. And we do not know if those crashes are related to the weather, but we have been seeing crashes and slide-offs on central Indiana's interstates all day long as more people get out and drive.
So you'll still want to be very careful if you're out and about tonight, especially after the sun sets. It gets colder, possibly leading even to more icy conditions out on the roads. We do have live team coverage for you tonight. For those of you who are out and about, Ella Rhodes checks on the conditions on the side streets.
As well as Sean, and he is in for Angela with a look at this impact alert as an extreme cold warning is about to go into effect. Sean, what are you seeing right now?
Well, like you said, not sure if that was weather related on the crashes. What I do know is we've got a pretty stiff west-northwest wind, and that is going perpendicular to I-69 and I-65 in those locations, and it's causing some of that snow to blow back over to the roads that have been cleared. So it wouldn't shock me if we're starting to get some more icy patches re-emerging here. Temperatures now in the middle teens, not far from sunset, and radar also indicating just some random flurries and little bands of possibly persistent snow showers too, also cutting across the north-south interstates here. This is the extreme cold warning for tonight. Before we get to that portion, widespread blowing snow, and there's these scattered flurries and snow showers. You should be aware of all of that. And then here you go. Tomorrow morning, these are air temperatures, by the way. We think will be about 5 to 10 below. We're forecasting 9 below in Indy. If we hit that, it would be our coldest night since December of 2022, way below the average of 20. And that will be the theme as we move forward. More ahead coming up in the 7-day forecast.
All right, Sean, thanks so much. If you're out and about, you know one of the biggest areas that we have problems are on some of the side streets around Indianapolis.
Ella Rhodes joins us live with a look at what she's finding across the area today. Ella?
Yeah, Anne-Marie and Felicia, we're over here in Fountain Square where a lot of these side streets still have so much snow on them. You could just take a look in our car. Right now we're on Evanston Street and there is still plenty of snow here. It's almost like there's a wall also of snow in between the car parks and then the one lane you can drive down. We have to go very, very slowly because there's still such a decent amount of snow. It did look like this road has been plowed at least once, but it's just not enough to drive through it safely, which is something you can see on a lot of these side streets and residential streets. And what we've been hearing really from people, there's a car ahead of us too. Their tires are spinning as they're trying to actually turn. You can tell, oh, they're going to reverse a little bit. They might try it again. You can see their brake lights and hopefully they can give it another go and make it through. Their tires are spinning a little bit. Once again, it's really, you need that four-wheel drive to get through these kind of conditions. Even though we're just 2 days after the storm, just check them. They're still spinning. They're still spinning those tires. Hopefully they'll get going and they aren't too stuck, but you can tell there's still just such a buildup here. But I want to show you some video that we took earlier from Fountain Square on the roads here, just the residential side streets that are mainly having these issues. So that video on your screen is from recent, just a few hours, like we said. So neighbors say they saw a plow come through once or twice on some of the side streets, but still roads are covered in a thick layer of snow. Now, DPW says plows complete one pass down the center of a roadway to make it passable. Only one car can go down the street at a time, really, for a lot of these super tight roads, and many are still packed into their parking spot from the snow. Evan Devine says he still has not seen a plow on his street.
Hopefully now that the sun's out and we've had a day or two to get the main roads clear, hopefully they'll hit these in the next 24 hours or so.
So we reached out to DPW. They said their contractors have reported that they've made it through all of the streets, but DPW is going to inspect it, go back through, and they're also going through complaints sent in to the mayor's action line to make sure they really are hitting all of the streets, because a lot of the people we talked with are not fully sure that they feel like the plows have made a decent impact on their street. As you can see where we're driving now, once again, could use another plow through. Anne-Marie and Felicia.
All right, thanks so much, Ella. Boy, I wish we saw more progress in 24 hours since we were last there yesterday.
It's certainly proving to be a process, and we don't have any sun to help melt some of this away, which is kind of frustrating. At least the temperatures, we do have sun, but the temperatures to help us too. Now, as we mentioned a minute ago, icy roads and drifting snow caused many crashes across central Indiana this morning.
In fact, there were so many that state police had to intervene. They closed I-70 west at I-465 out on the west side, kind of that route out to the airport. They needed to clear up the area there. They spread salt over the area to try to help some of the conditions. You can see then the resulting backup that it caused. This is video from the INDOT camera in that area at that time.
State police tell us they have now responded to 407 crashes since Saturday, and that's just in the central Indiana region. Now, if you do have to travel, keep this advice in mind if you do run into ice. So make sure you do not use cruise control. Keep a big distance between you and the car in front of you. That is so important.
Yeah, that space is important. And then don't slam on the gas or the brakes. You want to pump them if you do start to skid along the ice. Stay calm and carefully steer into the skid.
And right now, more counties are shifting back to being under a travel watch or even just advisories. Look at the colors on the map here.
A big change, that red there, that's Greene County, the only county in Indiana still under a warning right now, meaning people there should refrain from all travel if possible. And remember that you can stay up to date on the snow conditions, the bitter cold temperatures, if you have our 13 weather app. If you don't have it yet, why not? Go get it. It's a free download in your phone's app store. There you go. And developing tonight for the first time, we are seeing how multiple law enforcement agencies arrested the 5 people charged in the shooting of a Tippecanoe County judge and his wife. Our Rich and I went to Lafayette today, where police released that video at a news conference.
4 days after the shooting, multiple police agencies in multiple locations arrested 5 people believed responsible for the shooting of Tippecanoe Superior Court Judge Steve Meyer and his wife Kim. Court records say the shooter knocked on the door of their home, then fired shots through the door as soon as he heard a voice.
We must remember why we are here today. For Judge Meyer and his wife, this is personal. They are not just public officials. They are pillars of this community who have dedicated decades of their life to public service. They are kind, generous people who embody the values of Lafayette.
Police believe Raylan Ferguson is the shooter. He was arrested during a traffic stop in White County.
Any weapons on you?
No. Ferguson is allegedly a fellow Vice Lords gang member with Thomas Moss. Police arrested Moss at his home in Tippecanoe County.
Now walk backwards slowly. Keep going.
Police raided a home in Dayton, Indiana to arrest Blake Smith, who is allegedly a member of the Phantom Motorcycle Club with Moss as a leader. Court records say Smith bought the gun used in the shooting. Amanda Millsap and Zanata Greer are also charged in the alleged conspiracy.
Moss is the man who connects all the people to the judge. Moss is a multi-time convicted felon and was scheduled to go on trial in Judge Meyer's court just 2 days after the judge and his wife were shot.
This was a severe attack on our judicial system. This wasn't just going after a man and woman in her house. They went after him for a reason. He was targeted.
The case is assigned to Judge Meyer's court, but will be handled by a special judge in Cass County. In Lafayette, Rich Knight, 13 News.
At this hour tonight, the judge and his wife remain recovering. 4 of the people who are charged, who are in custody in Indiana, are now scheduled to appear before a special judge, Lisa Swaim, for their initial court hearings. That'll be Wednesday in Cass County.
And we now know the name of a man shot and killed last night on the south side of Indianapolis. This is what the scene looked like around midnight last night at an apartment complex on Laurel Street near East Troy Avenue and Shelby Street. The Marion County coroner announced 34-year-old Andres Tigner was shot and killed. No word yet from IMPD on a motive or any suspects. And tonight, Metro and Lawrence police are honoring a group of officers who jumped into a retention pond to save 2 children after a car crash that killed their father.
Jenna Webster today spoke with one of those officers as she was honored.
Grab the rope, it's right next to you. Get it!
Reach
Jump.
him, buddy, reach.
Grab on time, okay? Tight! Paul, we got you! We got you! Keep your head up!
This is the moment IMPD and Lawrence officers pulled a 9-year-old boy from the water.
Is that another kid right there?
Yeah, that's my little sister. You hear the boy say it's his little sister, a 5-year-old girl. Officers immediately begin swimming out in the pond. This all happened just after midnight on January 13th. Police found a car completely underwater in a retention pond near Pendleton Pike and 465. Police now say that car fled from a traffic stop moments earlier, but officers were not in pursuit.
Most of those things you're not going to know the positive impact you had. But in situations like this, we know.
2 weeks later, those 8 officers honored for their quick actions in the water. The second child pulled from the water less than a minute after her brother.
I wasn't really thinking. People have asked me that a couple times about what went through your head. Do you think you overcame fear? I wasn't. I just heard over the radio that there was a child in the water, and when I got there, the little boy said that that's my sister in the water. So there wasn't really a thought. It was just, we have to get her out.
Their dad, Deshaun Sims, driving that car, died at the hospital. His family tells 13 News he was the greatest father, son, brother, and nephew.
This would have surely been a much bigger tragedy. The bravery and teamwork shown by Lawrence Police Department and IMPD made the impossible possible.
Wake up, buddy, wake up!
Officers had to use CPR to revive one of the kids, and both had to go to the hospital. Today, IMPD says both young children are fully recovered, sharing a private moment with the officers before an awards ceremony.
Because I remember what she looked like when I pulled her out of the water, so I remember when she was lifeless. So looking at her with life in her eyes and watching her get to hug me, like that's amazing. You never see anything like that, so it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
A once-in-a-lifetime thing, defined by courage and 2 lives saved. Jenna Webster, 13 News.
And 3 people are now under arrest accused of trying to smuggle contraband into the Grant County Jail. The Grant County Sheriff's Office reports one of the suspects is an 18-year-old who was working as a detention deputy in the jail. She turned herself into them. The Sheriff's Office believes there may be more arrests as this investigation continues.